we are on verse number 6, chapter 76. Quite a few verses to cover, so we'll just move right along. Devasura manushyanam gandharvo rakshasam abhedyam kamagam vavre sayanam vrishni bhishanam. Okay. My computer just froze. Let's see if this works. Yeah. Sorry, my computer's there. It is. Okay. Shalva chose a vehicle that could be destroyed by neither demigods, demons, humans, Gandharvas, Uragas, nor Rakshasas, that could travel anywhere he wished to go, and that would terrify the Vrishnis. So we're talking about the special vehicle that Shalva had commissioned to fight the Vrishnis. Shalva is a demon, and he's one of the demons that are defeated when Rukmini was kidnapped by Krishna. And he was a little bit upset about it, quite upset. So he did very amazing austerity. Yesterday's verse, we covered that, how he just, lived a whole year with just a palm full of dust. And so with that austerity, he got the boon from Lord Shiva. So this is how he's now going to cash in on the benefit or the merits of that austerity. Tatheti girishadishto maya parapuram jaya puram nirmaya shalvaya pradat sobhamayasmayam. Lord Shiva said, so be it. On his order, Mayadanava, who conquers his enemies' cities, constructed a flying iron city named Sobha and presented it to Shalva. Imagine like an iron city, kind of like, in the old like Star Wars movies where there's like a floating city, almost like a Death Star or something like that. It's pretty impressive. Salabdva kamagam yanam tamodhama durasadam yayas dvaravatim shalvo vairam vrishni kritam smaran. This unassailable vehicle was filled with darkness and could go anywhere. Upon obtaining it, Shalva went to Dwarka, remembering the Vrishni's enmity toward him. Nirudya senaya Shalvo mahatya bharatarshaba purim bhavanjapavanan udyanani cha sarvashah sago purani dvarani prasadattalatolika viharan savimanagriyan nipetu shastravrishtaya shiladrumaschashanaya sarpa asara sharaka shakara prachandas chakravato bhut rajasa chadita disha. Shalva besieged the city with a large army, O best of the Bharatas, decimating the outlying parks and gardens, the mansions along with their observatories, towering gateways and surrounding walls, and also the public recreational areas. From his excellent airship, he threw down a torrent of weapons, including stones, tree trunks, thunderbolts, snakes, and hailstones. A fierce whirlwind arose and blanketed all directions with dust. Iti ardyamana saubhena krishnasya nagari prisham navyapadyata samrajam tripurena yathamahi. Thus terribly tormented by the airship Sobha, Lord Krishna's city had no peace, O king, just like the earth when it was attacked by the three aerial cities of the demons. Pradyumno Bhagavan Vikshya Bhadyamana Nija Praja mabhaishtetyabhyadat viro ratharudho mahayasha. Seeing his subjects so harassed, the glorious and heroic Lord Pradyumna told them, "Do not fear," and mounted his chariot. Satyakesharudeshnascha Sambho Krura Sahanuja Hardikyo Bhanuvindascha Gadascha Shukasarano Aparecha Maheshvasa Rathayuthapayuthapa Niryayurdam Shita Gupta Rathe Bhasva Padatibhi. Translation. The chief commanders of the chariot warriors, Satyaki, Charudeshna, Samba, Krura, and his younger brothers, along with Hardikya, Bhanuvinda, Gada, Shuka, and Sarana, went out of the city with many other eminent bowmen, all girded in armor and protected by contingents of soldiers riding on chariots, elephants, and horses, and also companies of infantry. Tata pravrite yuddham shalvanam yadubhi saha yatha suranam vibhuddhais tumulam lomaharshanam. A tumultuous, hair-raising battle then commenced between Shalva's forces and the Yadus. It equaled the great battles between the demons and demigods. Tasya sobhapater maya divyastre rukmini sutta kshanena nashayamasa naishantama ivoshnagu. With his divine weapons, Pradyumna instantly destroyed all of Shalva's magic illusions, in the same way that the warm rays of the sun dissipate the darkness of night. Vivyadha panchavim satya swarna punkairayo mukhai shalvasya dvajini palam sharai sannata parvibhi shatena tadayat chalvam ekaikanasya sainikan dashabhir netran vahanani dribistribhi. Lord Pradyumna's arrows all had gold shafts, iron heads, and perfectly smooth joints. With 25 of them, he struck down Shalva's commander-in-chief, Dyuman. And with 100, he struck Shalva himself. Then he pierced Shalva's officers with 1 arrow each, his chariot drivers with 10 arrows each, and his horses and other carriers with 3 arrows each. Tadadbhutam mahat karma pradyumnasya mahatmana drishtva tam pujayamasu sarve swaparasainika. When they saw the glorious Pradyumna perform that amazing and mighty feat, all the soldiers on both sides praised him. Bahurupaika rupam tad drishyate na cha drishyate maya mayam maya kritam durvibhavyam parairabhut. At one moment, the magic airship built by Maidanav appeared in many identical forms, and the next moment it was again only one. Sometimes it was visible and sometimes not. Thus, Shalva's opponents could never be sure where it was. Kvachit bhumau kvachit vyomni girirmurni jale kvachit alata chakravat bhramyat sobham tad duravasthitam. From one moment to the next, the Soba airship appeared on the earth, in the sky, on a mountain peak, or in the water. Like a whirling, flaming baton, it never remained in any one place. Yatra yatropalaksheta sasauba sahasainika Shalvas tatastato munchan charan satvatayuthapa. Wherever Shalva would appear with his Soba airship and his army, where the Yadu commanders would shoot, there the Yadu commanders would shoot their arrows. Sharairagnyarka samparshai ashi vishadurasadai Pidyamana puranika Shalva muhyat pareritai. Shalva became bewildered upon seeing his army and aerial city thus harassed by his enemies' arrows. He struck like fire in the sun and was as intolerable as snake venom. This is the last verse we'll do today, the purport. Srila Sridhar Swami explains that the arrows of the other commanders, burned like fire, struck simultaneously from all sides like the sun's rays, and like snake venom were lethal by a single touch. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master very kindly opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I bow unto him. I also offer my obeisances unto all of you, the assembled Vaishnavas, and seek your permission and blessing that we may read Srimad Bhagavatam. So, we are reading this, like I said, action-packed sequence. So Srimad Bhagavatam is not bereft of action, of varieties of things to keep you on the edge of your seat. And you can see some of these very graphic descriptions. They can capture our imagination, draw us into the story like nothing else can. But the amazing thing about Bhagavatam is that wherever you read, whatever action sequence it is, whether intrigue or politics, even the science, is full of so many varieties of mind-capturing subjects. But it's centered around Krishna. And that's the amazing thing about Srimad Bhagavatam, that it is Krishna's literary incarnation. And so wherever we read in the Bhagavatam, everything points back to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, his devotees, and their love for him. And how we too can gradually develop our love for him, in spite of all the action and complexities and poison and fire in our own lives, or harassed by our own enemies. So we see earlier on in this sequence, the spaceship or the airship built by Maidanov was filled with, he says, darkness, tama. So darkness is destructive. And so it was built like that, it's like a Death Star. Nobody builds like a vacation spot and call it Death Star, right? So similarly, this kind of thing, which is a ship that's filled with darkness, it's meant for destruction, things like that. So today's a very special day. Let's see if I can. Today's the day of Deepavali or Diwali. It's on this day that, when Lord Rama defeated Ravan on Vijayadashmi a few days ago, he rescued Sita Devi from him and was flying back to Ayodhya on this Pushpak Viman, this airplane. It was a dark, moonless night. Now, he was in a big rush. Sorry. He was in a big rush to get to Ayodhya because his brother Bharat had told Lord Ram that if you're here even 1 minute late after your 14th year of exile, I'm going to jump into the fire and commit suicide. So Bharat was already getting ready to commit suicide because that was that day and the clock was ticking. So Lord Ram was rushing back to Ayodhya on the airplane. Now, you know how airplanes, when they're landing at night, they need a runway to be lighted up, Now, Hanuman had already gone ahead to the city of Ayodhya by his own self-powered supersonic flight to inform the residents, to light up the city in celebration, and also to facilitate and welcome the Lord and to felicitate him. So welcome him, facilitate his landing, all that. So Hanuman said, light up the whole city with lamps, with these ghee lamps. And that's what we celebrate Diwali or Deepavali. It's probably the most well-known celebration among the Hindus all across the world. And as Vaishnavas, Prabhupada advised us also, light up many lamps and so on, and fill the temple with hundreds of these lamps. So we can today, in our heart, welcome the Lord by lighting up all the dark areas of our lives with transcendental knowledge. The city of Ayodhya, say it's our heart, the city of Ayodhya. And the Lord is coming. He's very eager to come. He's in a rush to come by airplane. But we have to do our part in facilitating his landing into our hearts, into this runway of our consciousness. Lord Ram was the one who says that, if one surrenders unto me, or just said, Sakri Deva Prapannasta, just one surrenders and said, my Lord, I'm yours, you are mine. From that day onwards, I fill his life with fearlessness. And that's all we want. We're afraid of the dark. What is this dark? Dark means we don't know what to do. Asato ma sadgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. This is a Vedic aphorism. Come out of the darkness into the light. You say, Agyana timirandasya, jnananjana shalakaya. My Lord, Agyana timirandasya means, I'm born in the darkness of ignorance. This analogy of darkness, it's equivalent to not knowing what to do because you can't see anything. So you don't know where to step. So we're afraid. And that fear comes from not having transcendental knowledge in our lives. So even though we may have technical knowledge, we're still in darkness because we don't really know what to do to make us happy, make us satisfied. But when we have the light, even the small lamp, it can show us where to go. And Krishna says, even in the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Deepena Bhasvata, that I, dwelling in their hearts of these devotees, light up darkness with the lamp of knowledge. It means it's Krishna who does that, who facilitates it. Well, if it's Krishna who does it, then what do we need to do? We just need to do what he's advised in the previous verses, where it says, Desham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam, that one who is always worshiping me with affection and love, connected with me, constantly, satata yuktanam, dadami buddhi yogam tam, unto their hearts, unto them I give the understanding by which they can come to me. I give them the buddhi yoga. I light up from within their hearts this lamp. So it's Krishna who lights up the lamp in our hearts. Remember in chapter 15, he says, from me comes knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness, and all that. But he's not the one who decides when to light the lamp. He is just waiting. He's just waiting for the lighter. Waiting for what? Waiting for our permission. Yeah, okay, I'll give you permission. No, not that kind of permission. We have to prove to him that we are really interested in him. Because he doesn't want to then hear again that, oh, my Lord, I've had enough of you. Let me go back to the other thing that I was doing. No, he doesn't want to hear that. He's waiting to see our level of conviction. Our level of conviction when we say, my Lord, I am interested in you now, this time for real. Then he'll light the lamp. And how do we prove it? Constantly engaged. Satata yuktanam, constantly engaged in developing affectionate, loving service to him, executing on it, planning it, so on. So this is the beauty of the Lord. He's very eager to light the lamp. We have to show that we are eager to receive the light. So today is a very special day. Another very significant thing happened on this day of Diwali. Quickly go over that. One day, Lord Krishna, as a little toddler, was sleeping across the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, like on one side of the courtyard. And he was sleeping, and then he was woken up by what? By his own hunger. He was hungry in his little belly. He had a little hunger. It's all transcendental. He woke up and he looked around. Where's my mother? And he saw my mother is on the other side of the courtyard. So he was very hungry, but at the same time, he looked at the courtyard looked like an ocean because he was so small and the courtyard was so big. So there's a Vaishnava poet who writes, Yanna mapar samsara paravara matitarat shankate sakaralambi taritum pitranganam. Pitranganam is the father's courtyard. So that very personality whose divine names has delivered individuals across the limitless ocean of material existence now crawls on his two hands and doubts his own capability to cross over his own father's courtyard. This is the paradoxical, poetic beauty of this situation that happened today. Right on this same day of Diwali. He's hungry like anything. He's trying to cross over, but he's doubting, will I make it across? I don't know. But he kept crawling, and he did make it across. And he saw Mother Yashoda was churning butter and desiring to drink the milk of her breast. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. He appeared before her in order to increase her transcendental pleasure. He caught hold of the churning rod and began to prevent her from churning. Now, the rod was moving so fast. Boom, boom, boom. It's dangerous. The rope there, and it's like really high, it's intense. You got to do it intensely, otherwise you don't get the butter out. And Krishna liked to do dangerous things. I mean, if a little kid holds that, you can really get hurt because they get stuck in the ropes, or it's dangerous. It's like putting your hand in a blender or something like that, But Krishna is always doing dangerous things. Sometimes he plays with the bulls. Sometimes he and Balaram would take out real swords from Nanda Maharaj's closet and pretend to fight. Sometimes he would play with fire and try to see if he could suck it in. And the Vaishnava Acharyas, they comment, why did Krishna as a toddler do such dangerous things? So they say, this is just practice for the things that were yet to come. For example, in the future, he would fight with the Arishtasur bull, the demon. So as a toddler, he's going to practice. And one day in the future, he'll fight with demons like Kansa, with swords. So he has to practice. One day he will drink up the entire forest fire. So he practiced a little spark. So he does dangerous things. So today he decided to do something dangerous again. He caught hold of the churning rod. And why did he catch hold of the rod? Here, the Vaishnava poet sings, Tat tat samsmriti karya jata samano sthane priya shripate Leela nama gunanugana mamalam kuryadyadi premata Tadhardamritamajigrekshira param krityam vihayadarat tam shrisho nusaratya bhutayam abhi prayasputo manthane. Even when the churning rod of worldly activities has commenced in one's life, if a person dear to the Lord lovingly performs the repeated singing of the names, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord, then the Lord gives up all of his other activities and desiring to drink the Hard Amrita, the heart nectar of the devotee, the Lord comes running himself. This meaning was clearly expressed in this particular pastime of churning yogurt. So Mother Yashoda was singing Krishna's glories. She was singing his names with great love and affection while churning the butter. So similarly, we are churning through our lives. The churning is hard work. Mother Yashoda was perspiring. It's not easy. It's a real workout. And sometimes we know with the churning of our lives, so difficult. But what happens? Even while we're churning through our lives, if we happily sing, chant Krishna's names, Krishna's glories, keep our mind absorbed in his beauty, in his pastimes, then what develops in our heart is a well, a well of nectar, a nectar of appreciation of the Lord, a nectar of loving feelings toward the Lord, a nectar of genuine gratitude toward the Lord. It wells up in our heart and creates a reservoir of it. So it says here, Tad Hardamritam. Hardamritam means the heart nectar. Hardamritam also means breast milk. So just as Krishna, because he wants to drink the breast milk from Mother Yashoda, he comes running. Similarly, when we are churning in our lives and we're still singing happily and remembering Krishna, Krishna comes running to drink that nectar of appreciation that we have. It's also called Hardamrita, the heart nectar in our hearts. So it's very important for us to have a nice, full well of sweet nectar that the Lord wants to drink. This is something that is not available to the Lord in the spiritual world. It's something that only we can generate. Everybody can generate their own, little, container of Hardamrita that nobody else can claim, because it's your own unique well, your own reservoir of nectar. And Krishna come running. Now at that time, Krishna smiled, and he had only 2 teeth. He's smiling. He had only 2 teeth, and he was so adorable. You can imagine how sweet that is. Then, of course, the story, no story is complete unless there's some twists and turns. It's not like a happily ever after. She fed him, so she started breastfeeding him, and we know the rest of the story. That she saw the milk pan was boiling over. She started breastfeeding him, and the milk pan boiled over, and she put him down, and the milk pan was overflowing. And Krishna was upset. One may wonder, why would she's serving Krishna. She has 900,000 cows. It's just one pot of milk. Why would she stop this amazing, incredible exchange of intimate love and feeding of the baby? It's a pure exchange of love and care. So how's that? Why would she do that? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, in taking care of all foodstuffs belonging to Krishna, the dear devotees show such special care that sometimes even Krishna himself becomes neglected. Wonderful are the ways of prema. So even that act of protecting that milk is Krishna's milk. Don't want to waste it. And so Krishna can wait a minute or two. I'll take care of the milk. Of course, Krishna could not wait a minute or two. Because the milk was thinking, what's the point of me living if Krishna is going to drink Mother Yashoda's milk? So let me jump out of the pot and kill myself. So that was another thing going on. There's a lot of drama going on, just a little scene over here. And Krishna was very upset. So he's biting his reddish lips with his teeth. And he had false tears. He broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. And he entered the room and began to eat the freshly churned butter in a solitary place. Now, outside of Vrindavan, Krishna never gets so angry that he bites his lips. And of course, he has only 2 teeth, so it's even more cute. And that's the sweetness of Vrindavan Leela. Outside of Vrindavan, Krishna is completely fearless. But here, he's afraid of even Mother Yashoda because he knew he was doing something wrong. So he broke the pot and began to eat this churned butter. So Krishna is teaching us something here too. The essence of yogurt is butter. Sar. Sar means the cream or the essence, the buttercream, right? And he began to eat that. So Krishna is an essence seeker. The word rasa has two meanings. It means milk products, and it means taste in life. Rasa, the flavor of living. So the sar, or the cream of milk, is butter. So the sar of life, of all the rasas, is what? Is bhakti rasa. See, so Krishna is coming to take the butter of our bhakti rasa. So we can say that we live in samsara. Samsara means this worldly place, samsara chakra, cycle of birth and death. But samsara can also mean the complete sara, samyak sara, samsara. Like sankirtan means complete kirtan. So samsara means complete sara, where we fill our lives completely with bhakti rasa wherever we look, wherever we think, whatever we do. Then we can go on living in samsara, full happiness forever. To the point where we don't even care for liberation. Varam deva moksham, no moksha vadimba, achanya vrineham vareshadapi. I don't want liberation, my Lord. I don't want this benediction. I just want to see this beautiful image of Bhagavatam, Gopala Balam in my heart. This is the essence of rasa. This is the essence, the sara of life. This is what life is about. So let us every day meditate on this lovely pastime that happened today. By the way, today is Diwali day. This is the day when this pastime took place. Of course, we celebrate in the whole month, but today is the actual day. So let's give it an extra boost when we're offering our lamp today. You can remember the lamps that we're offering, that we welcome Lord Ram into the hearts, let him land on the runway. Let's welcome the Lord Damodar into our hearts, even though he's tied up with ropes, and we're offering the lamp to the rope. We can ask him to free us from our ropes, from our bondage. In the prayer also, we see Kuveratmajo Baddha Murtevaya, that the sons of Kuvera they were bound up as trees. And you liberated them, my Lord. You released them from their material bondage and gave them prema bhakti. Tatha prema bhakti. Just like that, give me some prema bhakti too. So we are bound up in our material conditioning. The Lord is bound up in his ropes, but even when he's bound up, he frees us, even while he's tied up. That's the paradoxical beauty and poetry of Vrindavan, the sweetness of the Lord. So I'll pause here. Thank you very much for this opportunity to remember Krishna, to remember Lord Ram, to celebrate Deepavali with all of you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Madana-gopāla Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much for drawing the line between Diwali and Bhakti and us here. Thank you. Yeah, we should seek the essence, and we have our guiding light, the Bhagavatam. That's our light. Thank you. Okay, dear devotees, time to reflect the light. Please, don't be shy. Ask a question, take advantage. Okay, I have a question then. How do we keep our light going? Being in the movement for, a certain amount of years, sometimes it feels, I've heard this before, I've done this before, there's devotees, I've seen them doing things. So how do we, and the light seems to dim sometimes. So how do we keep the light going? How do we keep our bhakti practice fresh as we kind of move on our journey back to Godhead?
Yes, very good question. How do we keep our light going? This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, right? So how do we let it shine? How to keep it going? In our temple, when we have the Gaura Arati, or any Arati, it's a big crowd of people. So the Arati has been offered to the Lord, and then after it's offered to the Lord, it's passed around, that light. When you have a big crowd of people, that light kind of tends to dim out. And before it gets to the last person, it's like already gone. But what we do in some of our temples is we also keep a little container of ghee right next to it. So we keep adding ghee to it, even though it's been offered, just to keep the light going. You might have seen that. We do it here in Tobacco. So that's how we do it. This is how we keep our light going, because the nature of the ghee lamp is that it'll run out of ghee. So we have to keep filling with ghee. What is that ghee? The churning, the essence of the sadhana. That's why Krishna says it has to be constant, it has to be continuous. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. The two elements to keep our light going. Satata and priti. Satata means constant engagement in loving offering to Krishna. Remember, when we are offering something lovingly to Krishna, all the negativity really kind of disappears into the background, whether it's some exchange with devotees or some misunderstanding, So if we're doing it, if we're trying to make a loving gesture to Krishna, whether it's offering some bhoga, or whether it's offering some prayers, whether it's chanting more deeply, whether it is reading, trying to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, whether it is to do some direct service to the deity or direct service in the temple or something like that, we want to infuse it with appreciation and gratitude. So when it's appreciation and gratitude is there, that's the ghee. That is the essence, the sadhana. We have to keep producing more. We have to keep churning. And sometimes that churning requires perspiration. Even Mother Yashoda perspires. So, success is mostly perspiration, a little bit inspiration. And so we have to, it is hard work. Now, another thing that makes things more difficult is that growth in any endeavor, growth, spiritual growth, material growth, that you want to grow in positive direction, necessitates stepping out of our comfort zone. Growth cannot take place in comfort zone. So we have to do things that are beyond our comfort zone, but within our breaking point. So we have to find out that growth zone where, I should step out, do a little bit more. Like in the beginning, one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra seems so much. But then later on, even, 8 rounds becomes very easy. But then 16 rounds seems, oh, there's no way. And if you tried, okay, this month of Kartik, I'm going to do 16 rounds. And then devotees, they do 16 rounds a month of Kartik, like, wait a minute, I can do this. So for the special month, I'll do it, and I can do it beyond, and it's a breakthrough. And now what used to be breaking point is now growth zone, and what used to be growth zone is now comfort zone. So to keep the light going, we have to keep growing. So there's different aspects. It has to be constant, sasatatam, and it has to be priti purvakam. Priti purvakam is what keeps it real ghee. Priti means affection. It's not possible to fake affection. See, Krishna was crying fake tears. He's good at things like that. But we cannot fake our affection to the Lord. He knows what it is, what's what. So he will not take the fake butter. He wants the real thing. We can't offer him margarine and say that, and then offer it to Krishna. And Krishna's like, what? I can't believe it's not butter. That's what Krishna will say. So what is this you're offering to me? It says right over here, I can't believe it's not butter. Okay. So we should offer him the real affection, real butter of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very helpful. Thank you.
Vanish Mataji has her hand up.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vanish Mataji.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your class. I had a question about King Shalva and how he, you referenced that he cashed in on his boon in terms of his austerity that he had been performing, eating dust. And we've been discussing how we want to keep our devotional service free from any desire for material gain, and including those subtle things. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts or advice on like what are the more subtle material things. Like obviously, if we're performing some kind of austerity, we're not looking for a giant metal spaceship, but there may be subtle things that we're not aware of that we're actually seeking, that we should be on guard against, that we don't even know. Could you shine some light on those things? Hare Krishna.
Yes, it's a great question. You know what? When the motive of our intense, say, austerity, or our projects that we do, that we really put in a lot of effort and thought and planning, when the motive of that becomes selfish and it's not Krishna conscious, it's as good as dying. It's the death of us. So another one bites the dust. Well, Shalva literally, he's biting into the dust, and that was his death. Even though, he got so much out of it, but it wasn't. It was the Death Star that he built. So it's the motive that matters. So that's a very good question, Venetia. Is can we assess our own motives? That's where we can take a look, we can inventory, So the classic motive is a gross one. Classic motive is gross in the sense there's the vast majority of people who are conditioned are trapped by the first trap. It's called Kamini Kanchan. Kamini Kanchan means, women and gold. That's what the vast majority of, when I say women, Prabhupada explains, basically thinking of the opposite sex and enjoying in that way. And then Kanchan means gold, we just have a lot of wealth, and with that wealth, you can gain power, influence, other kind of refinements and comforts in life and control. So those two things, the vast majority, 99.9 something, meditate on that. They can't overcome that. That's like the gross one. But if someone by chance can overcome that, then there's even more sand traps ahead. Those are the subtle ones. The subtle ones are puja, labha, pratishtha, where we want to be, we want to remain the center of attention. Puja means we want to be worshipped. We want to gain some kind of recognition, labha, profit. Pratishtha means being established and being well known. And we are in anxiety about it. When we get into anxiety about it, about not being recognized, then that becomes a problem. Those are the sand traps. Prabhupada defines humility, for example. He defines as to not be in anxiety about being recognized. He makes a very clear distinction. To want it is not a problem. Remember, to want recognition is not the problem here. Prabhupada he chooses the words very carefully. My dear Lord, I hope people appreciate what I'm doing for you. So there's nothing wrong with saying that, honestly. It's very human, it's very natural, and it would be impersonal to ignore that. And it doesn't make you less humble even. But to be in anxiety, oh, they missed my name, I'll never forget, and you lose sleep over it, they didn't announce my name, or didn't see my contribution, and you can't sleep for a week, that's where you've lost your humility. So it's very subtle, even that distinction. But if you read Prabhupada's books, we can find these litmus tests by which we can measure our own motivations. And so, of course, we give up the gross desires. We also give up the desire to be honored. It's okay to want it, but to have a burning desire, which is laced with anxiety, that affects our clarity, our peace, then it can be destructive, So we should, of course, amanina manadena, we should be in anxiety about giving honor to others. Like, oh my God, I hope I don't forget to respect all the devotees. That's okay to have anxiety about that, you see, because that's transcendental. But, oh my God, I hope they don't forget to give honor to me. That's not right, you see. So anxiety itself is not a problem either, But these are just some, it's a big topic, but it can give you some directional idea of where we're going with this. Thank you, Venetia. Hare Krishna.
Jai, welcome to the Afterglow. Madana-gopāla Prabhu, do you have a few minutes for the Afterglow?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Can I back up? Can I say something that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said in relation to seeking recognition? It's a heavy quote. Can I quote it? Yeah. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur once said that seeking recognition from others is like dipping your face in stool, said like that. Hariwal. Hare Krishna. That's all, yeah. Okay, we have Premananda Vilas and Ananda Manjari. They had their hands up. Are they still here? No. Okay, Bhima Vilas, Prabhu, please.
All right, am I on?
Yeah.
Just hearing my name by your lips, it's just such an honor for me, Ananda Bihari. I am basking in this honor of being able to speak at the same time as Maharaj is speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And it's sometimes you come to this point where you realize this is about the only thing I got going is my association. Thank God. Prabhu, Madana-gopāla, so am I to believe that the more I'm kicked like a dog, the more I suffer like a dog, the sooner I'll be a king in Krishna's eyes? If I'm willing to take on, whatever he's got to give me, does that quicken the process?
It's a good question. It is not so much about how much we get kicked or how much we suffer. That's actually relevant. What is relevant is how we respond to that suffering, the attitude that we develop in the face of such experiences. That's really what's relevant. The very famous verse in the Bhagavatam, Tatte anukampam samikshimana, where it says that, if a person continually suffering the reactions of his misdeeds while still offering, this is the key part, is while still offering obeisances to the Lord, with the heart, with the words, with the body, meaning we serve with our body, we respect and offer obeisances, my Lord, I'm yours, even while going through the kicking that's due to us anyway. Vipakam means it's matured fruit of our activities. We can't help it. We have to experience it. But we can experience it in a resentful way, in a bitter way, or we can experience it by saying, my Lord, yes, it doesn't matter what I'm going through. What matters to me right now is that I'm offering myself to you.
Yes.
And regardless of how difficult it is or easy it is, please accept these obeisances. Please accept these, these services I'm trying to offer. Then what happens? A very special form of mercy comes down called anukampa. Tatte anukampam samikshimano. So what is an anukampa? Remember in Sanskrit, there are many words for mercy. There's kripa, daya, and there's anukampa, anugraha, like that. Anukampa means Krishna actually comes down. He sees that you're loving him so much in spite of your pain, that he resonates with your pain. He comes down to your level to feel what you're feeling, even though our pains and all that are actually kind of petty in the large scheme of things. They're kind of petty. If you look at how many lifetimes we've lived, the little thing we're going through right now, it's nothing. It's utterly inconsequential. But still, in spite of the pettiness of what we're going through, Krishna comes and he trembles with us. He feels our pain, even though it's a silly little thing, and then he embraces us with that mercy. So that is the nature of anukampa. See, so to answer your question, does it matter how much, or the more I get kicked, the more I suffer, does it mean that I'll become more successful as a devotee? It's not how much we suffer, but how we respond to our lives. So the more we offer obeisances, the more we leverage, because when we go through suffering, it does affect our emotions. We can't deny that. And to the degree that we're attached, to that degree, it'll affect us more emotionally. You see, and that's fine. Having emotion is not a problem. How do you leverage that emotional situation is what determines whether you'll be successful or not. When the market goes up or down, it's not the problem. When there's massive movements in the market, that doesn't matter. It's how you leverage your investment in the right time. When it's going down, you sell short. When it's going up, you buy. Then at the end, you come out profitable. So when things are very exciting for you in life and you offer thanks to Krishna, then you get the profit of nectar of devotion in your heart. And when things are really coming down hard and we still offer thanks to Krishna, my Lord, it could be a lot worse. And this emotional thing, but I'm crying these tears. These are petty tears, but I'm thinking of you, and please keep me in your shelter. Then you get more profit. So you make profit regardless. So it's not the ups and downs of life that matter, is how you ride the waves with Krishna in the center. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Riding the waves with Krishna in the center. Wow. Nicely said. Okay, Ananda Manjari.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is Ananda Manjari Devi Dasi. I wanted to add a question to a question asked by Vinisha, which is, you were speaking about the subtle things that we may want in return, almost, or as a payoff for our service. And I wonder what happens when we recognize, especially recognizing as well as Srila Prabhupada has set up our movement, that we essentially live among devotees and our needs are satisfied by the devotees. And I wonder what happens when we're doing service and acknowledging that maybe I'm not seeking fame or I'm not seeking to be worshipped, but I do have the need to be accepted or to feel a sense of belonging, to know that I am actually mattering, or that I actually contribute and what I'm doing makes sense or is actually well received. So what happens when these subtle things come, and they are, human psychological needs that we are having while, being devotees and trying to serve purely?
Yes, very nice question. Thank you for asking that. Yeah, it is not, it's one thing to have a desire for something that is luxury, and it's another thing to need something that is essential for our well-being. The two different things. So say recognition, glory, these are luxuries. But fitting in, being accepted by society, having a sense of self-worth while serving within the circle of devotees, these are not luxuries, these are necessities that keep us alive. They're not optional. Therefore, the creation of an environment where devotees are cared for, devotees feel a sense of self-worth, devotees feel encouraged and loved, it's of paramount importance for us as an organization, even if you're not organized in some legalistic way, even just as a circle of friends, it's very important for us to give each other a profusion of encouragement and care. Which is why sometimes when that doesn't happen, the devotees either continue suffering a lot and they don't flourish in their devotional service, or they find some other circle where they can find more encouragement. And if we don't provide it as a circle of devotees, then we might lose these budding sparks of joy to the outside world, meaning they will seek that encouragement elsewhere. So yes, we should of course seek encouragement here, but we can also be, if we're strong enough, be providers of encouragement from wherever we are. Our flagship product in ISKCON, I've said this many times, is love and encouragement. This is our product. This is what people come to us for. Because there's enough discouragement out there. Let us not be another shop of discouragement. So yes, let us give care, love, but at the same time giving also enough of a firm program that helps devotees step a little bit out of the comfort zone without breaking them. You see, the growth takes place between comfort and breaking point. So let's maintain that with an atmosphere of love and care, that even if people leave, they'll never forget it. They'll miss us like anything, I mean, I can see Adi Purush Prabhu is nodding because he's the embodiment of that. Yes, every time I'm in his presence, I feel so much love and care, selfless joy coming out from Adi Purush Prabhu. So it is my honor to be in circle of such great devotees who do this day in, day out, to give care to the least fortunate of us. And all of us are unfortunate to some degree. All of us are to some degree homeless. All of us are to some degree starving for love. So we can be providers, and we can also be connoisseurs of it. So thank you. Great question. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Adi Purusha Prabhu raised his hand in approval or blessing.
Profound, perfect, and heartfelt answer to the question she asked, just to contribute to it, not to contradict it. He's telling us how important it is to be encouraging and how that helps to sustain us in our endeavor. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does say, Matra sparshas tu kauntena. Happiness and distress will come. Praise and blame will come. Heat and cold will come. Summer and winter will come. We must tolerate them without being disturbed. And it's not that we don't, our comfort is not that our comfort is not disturbed, but our service, we must tolerate it without being disturbed. Whether somebody is praising us and appreciating us, or belittling us and making fun of us, or blaming us, or ignoring us, we must go on with our service. This is a lesson that Krishna will give us. Heat and cold, fame and infamy, praise, blame, criticism, it's going to come. Krishna says it will come. And on our behalf, the relationship we have with our spiritual master and our prescribed duty will help to sustain us through these times when the things are up or down, or we're getting encouraged or not. Sometimes we will be ignored. We must go on with our service. So we have the relationship with the Guru, and we have our prescribed duty. And believe me, I have, in my own experience, I've seen every variety of these external conditions, but somehow or other, I know what my spiritual master asked me to do. And we see Prabhupada's perfect example. When he was having a lot of assistance or none, he did not give up. We don't want to say that appreciation shouldn't be there to encourage devotees, or that we would not feel consoled and sustained by the appreciation of others. But sometimes Krishna will withdraw that, or even giving antagonism. And we must be able to go right through, no matter what the response other people are giving. Know what is my service. Without a prescribed duty, Arjuna was on the battlefield. They were throwing arrows at him, stampeding elephants at him, all kinds of things. It wasn't that it was just a picnic and, well, who's encouraging me? These people are fighting again. No. Krishna said, abandon all variety for gain and safety and fight for me. Do it for me. That's why we're doing it, because that's what Krishna asked us to do, not because it's easy, difficult, or we're getting encouraged. So good question. Nanda Bihari also, that's a very important question. And the same answer. How do you go on? How do you go on, to sustain that effort? And again, we have to be detached from the external conditions and have a prescribed duty that we know. Is it easy to be a parent? Sometimes. There's the pain and there's the joys, but you go on making breakfast for your daughter, right? Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes,
Washing dishes for your spouse. It's a big one.
Whatever it takes to keep everything going.
Prabhu?
Yes.
Madana-gopāla?
Hare
Is
Krishna.
he still there? I'm of a contrary opinion. I believe that one of the most important gift that we've been given by Srila Prabhupada is the loving encouragement of the devotees. And that no matter what's going on in your life, whether you're down or you're up, if you've made intimate friendship with the devotees, they know you inside and out. They know your weaknesses. If you've opened yourself up, because if you can't open yourself up to a devotee who actually loves you, you know, like loves your spirit, knows what's best for you. If you can't open yourself up to them in any trial or circumstance, if you are troubled by your service, if you are troubled by your current position, but you can go to a devotee for loving encouragement by seeing something from another view, from a higher viewpoint, from the rooftop, from the clouds, from Vaikuntha, you know, and those visions are not there for those who are down and out. They run away. That's why we're down and out. We don't have the vision. Our heart is clouded. So loving encouragement, isn't that the thing that's a necessity at all times that we should seek?
Yes, thank you so much. And I agree with you, Bhima Prabhu. I was going to say pretty much the same thing. Yes, matra sparsha sukante, the world is like that. There's ups and downs, heat and cold for sure. And we have to continue our service. But our primary job is, as an organization or as a movement or as a group of devotees, is to say, no, I'm here for you in spite of this, the loving care that you talk about. I'm holding your hand. I know this heat and cold. Hey, it's winter now. I'm feeling the cold too, but I'm here for you. And let's hold hands and we'll keep each other warm, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a key part of giving encouragement. Otherwise, just bite your lips, bite the bullet and keep moving on. Well, the world is already telling us to do that anyway. So, but yes, we do need to do that. You don't understand it's just by touch, matra sparshas. But our job is to give each other love and care. Prashant Prabhu, you had a hand up.
And I just like to.
Sure.
I want to say one thing.
Finish your thought.
Very quick. Yeah, very quickly in reference to Adi Purush, and that is, if anybody has given loving care through the school of hard knocks of being engaged in that type of service similar to here, it's been Adi Purush. The guy may speak a tough game, but that guy is always there to hold your hand through times hard and good, and he's always there with loving encouragement.
Yes.
So this, you know, and I think
that's what I was saying. He's the embodiment.
I give my full obeisance.
Yeah, he's the embodiment of that loving care and encouragement, which is what I started out with. Which is I was appreciating him so much, and he lives it. He lives by it. Yes, Prashant Prabhu, you're going to say something. Go ahead.
I just I wanted to resonate what Bhima Prabhu said, that the gift of association is a true and fair gift. And actually, it helps us bear the hot and cold and ups and downs more patiently. So it kind of really merges what both Bhima Prabhu and Adipurush Prabhu said. They are not contradictory, they are actually complementary.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we give encouragement, but we also encourage them to encourage each other to step out of the comfort zone. You see, encouragement doesn't mean, oh, keep staying in your bed, keep in your blanket, it's nice and warm, don't do anything. No, encouragement means, okay, come on now, time to buck up, step out 1 foot at a time. Come on, okay, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, a little bit at a time, We can coach each other. We still have to push each other out of our comfort zones, but we do it with love. And the fact that, hey, just knowing you're there for me, I can do it. That makes a big difference. Jay. All right. Well,
thank you very much. Wonderful discussion, lively and real.